They are slaves, people declare. Nay, rather they are men. Slaves! No, comrades. Slaves! No, they are unpretentious friends. Seneca, Letters, 47.1. A quiet kitchen before dawn. The master stands apart, holding the key ring in his palm, the others busy in the flicker of firelight. The world insists on its harsh definitions, master and slave, us and them, above and beneath. Yet under Seneca's pen, these sharp lines blur. He names the slave not a tool, but a friend, not property, but a person, worthy of dignity, worthy of being called comrade. It presses uncomfortably close against the ways we still divide ourselves. Titles at work, follower counts, social cliques, those inside and those out. It's easier to let labels do the thinking. But here's Seneca, whispering across centuries. Remember the person hidden by the label. When tempted to ignore, dismiss, or look away, imagine if you spoke as if to an unpretentious friend. It's an invitation to quiet rebellion. When you hold power, in a meeting, in your home, online, choose to see the humanity in the other. That is where real independence begins. Not by separating, but by refusing to play the usual game. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own, not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine, and so none of them can injure me. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 2.1. A new day breaks, and with it comes the steady anticipation. Today, someone will frustrate me. Marcus wrote these words not for an ideal world, but for life among the flawed. He greeted each morning in a tent, surrounded by soldiers, facing betrayal, exhaustion, and endless requests. He didn't flinch from the truth. Most people you meet today will not make it easy to be good. There's liberation here, when your first thought isn't, how do I avoid loneliness, but how do I stay whole, even when the world gets ugly. You stop looking for escape. You find composure within, even surrounded by fools. This is a talisman for city streets, for office halls, for holiday dinners where tempers fray. Expect friction, do not curse it. It is part of the world, so are you. Underneath all irritation lies a deeper truth. Every person you meet is made of the same stuff. Each one bears the mark of the divine, however distorted today. So what they do cannot touch your soul unless you let it. You stand more alone, yet less lonely. You carry yourself for your own approval, not the applause or spite of others. That is the Stoic's shield. Ponder for a long time whether you shall admit a given person to your friendship, but when you have decided to admit him, welcome him with all your heart and soul. Speak as boldly with him as with yourself. Seneca, Letters 3.4. It's easy, when wounded or disappointed, to keep everyone at arm's length, to decide that trust is naivety, and independence means needing no one. But Seneca was too familiar with isolation to praise frozen solitude. He suggests caution. Friendship is not to be doled out at random like coins to a crowd. Test before you welcome someone close. But when you decide they are worthy, embrace them with the fullness you reserve for your own thoughts, the naked, unvarnished truth. This is strength, not softness. Imagine the risk, to speak out loud what you only whisper in your mind. Few get that privilege. If you shut out all closeness, you are not free, only caged. But if you choose deeply and share wholly, you build fellowship stronger than loneliness. Even one real friend in a lifetime of acquaintances is worth the risk. I thank you for writing to me so often, for you are revealing your real self to me in the only way you can. I never receive a letter from you without being in your company forthwith. Seneca, Letters 40.1. Under the Mediterranean sun, two distant friends write across miles, each letter a piece of presence. Seneca finds connection not in crowded rooms, but in a simple letter. In the act of opening up honestly, space collapses. Even when separated by distance, the sense of companionship can be vivid, almost physical. It's easy to forget, scrolling endless feeds, that true company is not how many hover nearby, but how truly someone opens themselves to you. A single honest message can reach across any divide. You aren't alone if one person, somewhere, shows you their real self. Think of how this plays out now. The late-night text that saves your friend. The voicemail you replay just to hear a familiar voice. Independence doesn't mean refusing all comfort. Sometimes it means accepting real bridges from real people, no matter how thin those bridges seem. First, consider how you are connected with humanity and how we were born to work together. Second, consider the character of each person at table, at council, or wherever, and especially consider what pressure their minds are under and what actions they are compelled to perform and how many things they do involuntarily. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 11.18. At the boardroom table, in the group chat, at the family dinner, people jostle, justify, misstep. Marcus, emperor among men, but always somewhat apart, demanded of himself the impossible, to consider at all times his deep connection to others. Even as he stood alone, he belonged to the shared body of humanity. Yet he also sees people not as evil, but as pressured, harried, acting half-blind in ways they may not even choose. That person's sharp tone, maybe it was their sleepless night, their private shame, their blinding urgency. This is how you hold independence without losing compassion. You remember what binds you before you judge what separates you. You can stand totally alone, but with understanding, not contempt. You are made to work with others. Even when you feel apart, you are of the same nature. Let this truth settle your loneliness. Even Socrates, Cato, and Aurelius might have been shaken in their moral strength by a crowd that was unlike them. So true it is that none of us, no matter how much he cultivates his abilities, can withstand the shock of faults that approach, as it were, with so great a following. Seneca, Letters 7.8. The strong are not immune. Seneca, philosopher to emperors, names even the greats. Socrates, calm in a chaotic Athens. Cato, stubborn in the face of tyranny. Aurelius, famed for his friendships. If the crowd pressed hard enough, even their foundations trembled. There's humility here, hard as granite. You will feel the pressure to fit in, to bend toward the group's lowest standard, to smother your own conscience just to belong. No matter how collected you dream yourself to be, a tide of folly can wash anyone off their feet. It's normal to waver. Independence isn't marble steadiness. It's the willingness to stand, shake, and sometimes retreat when the many demand what goes against your grain. The antidote is not arrogance, but vigilance. Notice when you are swept up. Withdraw when needed to find your footing again. Even the wise know their limits. Whoever does wrong, wrongs himself. Whoever does injustice, does it to himself, making himself evil. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 9.4. Every cruelty yields a silent cost. When Marcus writes these words, he's not talking to tyrants or criminals. He's reminding himself, and anyone awake at midnight, tracing the wrong words spoken at lunch, that our actions shape us, not just those they touch. If someone lies to you or betrays your trust, they have not reached into your soul and twisted it. They have only stained their own. This is the final reassurance for those who walk alone. You cannot be sullied by another's pettiness. No insult, no slight, no backroom gossip can make you less than yourself unless you let it plant bitterness within. You are sovereign over your character. Let the world do what it will. If you keep your integrity, you remain untouched. Life alone, life among others. The Stoics edge their way through both. They don't promise invulnerability, only the possibility of walking upright through storms, sometimes with others, sometimes alone. Independence is not the hardness of stone, but the suppleness to bow and not break. Friendship and solitude, engagement and retreat, each has its time. The secret isn't never feeling alone. It's learning how to stand, whether in a crowd or by yourself, and recognize your own measure. If this held your attention, stay. There are more voices waiting and more stories to walk beside you.